when you're going to get Vlad as Malzahar, you want to wait until level 3 before you start harassing him. Just don't do any damage. And you want to make sure you keep your CS up with him.
Alright folks, welcome to e-rev TV. I am Pat, the Twiz Harrison, bringing you guys some more live League of Legends action here. We're looking at a definitely phase 4 in the community. Gracchus right now. This has just started out. Level 1, he is Malzahar. Looks like he is up against a Vladimir in his lane, playing on the blue team. You'll see his beautiful little image down there, and you're definitely going to hear him talk over me just a little bit here because he is very, very vocal in this stream. As I'm going to try to turn it down enough here so we're not talking over each other. So you're going to lose a little bit of in-game sound here as well. But this is Gracchus playing Malzahar, one of his favorite champions to play, and he is up against the Vladimir, and that's going to be at the top lane. Middle lane is going to be Sipper taking on the Caitlyn. Mumu is the jungle for the blue team, and down at the bottom looks like we have Galio and Nasus is the roster rundown for this. And he's actually up against a person named Red Rage here, which Red Rage I actually believe I know was in a gaming community with him a while ago. Pretty solid player, and that is who he is up against. So pretty far, we're just going to look at kind of the creep guy here. Gracchus, he has really good quality, and it's really neat to watch him play because he has some great reactions to different events that happen right now. As Vladimir being forced to pull there out of the pool that Gracchus has put down for him, and this is going to be one of the first casts that we've done where we're not actually spectating a jungler, we're spectating the laning phase here. And luckily, this is a top solo lane. So one of the first few items that you see Gracchus picking up there is the Doran's Ring. Doran's Ring is a great item because not only does it give you some health, it also gives you that little bit of AP and mana regen to sustain a lane. Vladimir picking up the Amplifying Tome, which is a great item for him because he doesn't need that little bit of mana regen that the ring gives him, and he can easily build that into something later on, such as the Ralai's Crystal Scepter or even a Haunting Guise. Or if he's feeling a little bit risky, he may go a Magi's and try to snowball throughout this. So we do see him going against him here, and Vladimir's doing a pretty good job of being able to zone this up right now, as Gracchus with just a few bars of health remaining. Red Rage there with Vladimir has got 4 bars left, and he's probably going to try to ask for a gank here in a little bit so he can get some more lane control, because he's definitely not having it right now. Gracchus is able to regen that health, that mana back from using his skills on the creeps and get that farm. Already he is only at 18 AP, which is strictly coming just from the item there, and some masteries. So, first blood going to Team Purple, and Gracchus being forced to go back now, and that's going to allow Vladimir to gain a little bit of momentum as Gracchus will come back. He will have full health and mana, but Vladimir will have that little bit of an extra jump on levels. Vladimir is definitely one of the tougher champions to play against, as his harass can be very, very strong. Not the most at level 1, 2. Once you get to about level 7, he becomes very, very difficult to go against because that cooldown on his Q spell just becomes ridiculous, and he's able just to spam that over and over and over again and dominate the lane. Once he begins to get the sorcerer shoes and has that extra little bit of magic pen, then it's a little bit of trouble there. There we see Red Rage coming in, using the ultimate, and coming down with the pull as well as his transfusion onto Gracchus here. Gracchus only losing about half of his health right now. Does have 2 health pots and a ward remaining. He's going to position himself here so he can get that ward down. Red Rage again coming back in, going with another pull. Gracchus able to bring him out here with the pull and the dot on him. He's got the minion chasing down, and that is going to be the kill for him. They're taking the score 1-1 as Gracchus able to go ahead and pull that play off there. Vladimir being a little over-aggressive, thinking he had the lane dominance there, but he did not. That pool doing tons and tons of damage. If you're not too familiar with what Malzahar can do, he does have that pool that drops down, and that is percentage-based damage. So it's not one of the things where we're going to deal 200 damage and you're going to run away. It's going to be, this pool sits down there for around 4 seconds, and that entire 4 seconds, you're taking 8, 10, 12, 14, 16% of your damage, depending on how it scales in the items that he gets. So it's definitely a great skill early on, basically because it's there. The dot, which is the E skill, is going to be the first thing that you use because that's what's going to create the farming for you, and that's going to be your entire early game. That dot is your bread and butter with Malzahar. And Gracchus is going to go for a little bit of tower chip here at the top lane. Vladimir should be coming back any moment now. Yep, there he goes, showing himself.
Vlad's back again.
So yeah, if you weren't able to hear that, Gracchus said that his job was just to make that Vladimir leave so he can come back and basically gain control over this lane and gain more and more control and keep that Vladimir underfarmed. So Vladimir's items, he did pick up the Hextech Revolver, which is going to give him a little bit more AP as well, some more lifesteal per hit, and also a couple health potions. He's going to use those health potions to try to regen as much health here so he can sustain the lane. Gracchus doing a great job trying to play aggressive here, but he may have caught himself into a predicament, but no, they're both at very, very low health right now. Vlad's going to have a transfusion up, and Gracchus is now out of mana. This is going to be doing the exact opposite of what Gracchus wanted, as this is going to be something that's going to force him back to his tower so he can regen health. Amumu trying to come in at the top lane here as he is going for a gank on Vladimir. Vladimir using his pull to escape that stun as he runs to his tower. Amumu using his ult, as well as Gracchus coming in there getting that dot down. Vladimir not able to take down Amumu, but with the help of Gracchus, they were able to take down Vladimir as he was dying at the tower, and that's going to push him back. And what's going to happen now is we're going to see Malzahar be able to stay in the lane a little bit longer, and that's going to give him even more of an advantage. Well, actually, no, he is backing here, but this is still going to give him a little bit of an advantage so that whenever Vladimir comes back, he can just keep rolling this over and over again and keep forcing him out of the lane, allowing him to not as well as get any experience, but you won't be able to get any farm. Everybody that's played League of Legends knows that a farmed Vladimir to play against is not very fun. It can make or break a game very easily. And in Gracchus' defense here, a farmed Malzahar is not going to be very fun because he can just annihilate teams and players with this Malzahar that he plays. And he's doing a great job of staying very aggressive in the lane and making sure that he maintains all the dominance needed to control it. Okay, and as you just heard him state there, if the audio is up enough for you there, he says now that he does have the advantage over Vladimir, he should leave the lane and try to do some kind of a gank. And look at this, as he just goes right in here, Vladimir being forced to pull out, Vladimir ult on him there, and we do have the pull and the ulti here by Gracchus. Gracchus going to be taking down Vladimir in that pull again with the ultimate, and his ultimate is a suppression ult, so there is no way you can get out of there. You can't cleanse out of it. You need to have a teammate there to stun, otherwise you are going to sit there and eat that entire amount of damage, and Gracchus proving his point there as Vladimir being played by Red Rage, eating all of that, and he has died, and that's going to allow Malzahar to come up here and chip away at this tower a little bit more. Caitlyn still in middle up against Sivir. Looks like Amumu possibly going to relieve him. Galio coming towards the top lane now, and he's going to be taking that over for Vladimir. Vladimir is probably going to head back down towards the bottom lane as we're seeing the Zillion and Xin Zhao already at the tower there at the bottom. But again, this is being played by Gracchus. And just so you guys know, up at the top of your screen there, you'll see at hcgamers.net. That is hardcoregamers.net. That is a site that Gracchus runs to help the League of Legends community. And he does see this gank coming along right now, as we do see Galio trying to come from the bottom along with Udyr, going for a Galio flashing in, missing the ultimate. Udyr not able to get over there for a stun, so what a waste of an ult there. Wow, Gracchus being able to position himself on the far side of the lane, Galio misinterpreting what the flash is going to be, and now we're seeing an aggressive Vladimir, which you really shouldn't see right now because we do have Amumu coming to help him out. Amumu using the red buff. Red buff's going to obviously be that slow that's going to hold them there, and that's going to allow Gracchus to do quite a bit of damage with the slowed opponent. Caitlyn beginning to push up towards the middle there, trying to do some tower chip. Xin Zhao heading towards mid now, and he's going to be defending that middle tower. Sivir, I believe, back at the well. She is buying now. Score 4-1 in favor of the blue team.
Vlad is back in my lane again, and I'm just going to push him off the lane because he can't fight.
So there we see Gracchus pushing this Vladimir away, and there we go again, an ult and a pull, and that's going to be pushing him back. Maybe for the kill? No! Possibly yes! Oh my gosh, he blinks in there, he does get the E off onto him, he does pull, but unfortunately that pull's not going to be able to mitigate any of that damage because it was done before before the Sanguine pull was in effect, so he still eats that entire dot while he is pulled, and he is just dominating this Vladimir. Galio coming back now 4 levels down from where the Malzahar is, so Galio only level 6. very little farm that he was able to pick up from the bottom lane, as Xin Zhao and Zilean doing a great job holding that lane back, and Galio being forced to defend top twice now already because Vladimir not able to hold the lane against the Galio. Udyr knowing that this gank needs to happen onto Malzahar, but Malzahar again having it warded. There's not going to be much that Udyr's going to do. He is getting the dot put onto him. The ward is now down, but that dot's barely going to eat through any of his turtle stance, which gives him a shield that absorbs damage. For those of you that don't know anything about Udyr, which I'm assuming the majority of you do, the bottom tower did go down during that, but we do see Udyr going towards the middle for a gank on Sivir. Sivir being forced all the way back to the middle tower. And a little bit of action happening down there at the bottom lane as Xin Zhao, Amumu, and Zilean able to take that tower down, and now they're going to work their way over to Dragon, where luckily, look at that, Udyr's trying to go there. Sivir going to engage on Udyr, knowing that teammates are close right now. Zilean trying to get around there. Udyr going after Sivir with the help of Xin Zhao and Zilean. Udyr running back towards the middle tower, trying to escape this gank that is going on as he was at the Dragon. So Gracchus, in his time here, talking a little bit about exactly what's going on, and what he is saying here is Galio pushing this lane forward only helps him. It allows him to sit in that tower away from areas to be ganked. Here we see the ult and everything going off onto the Galio. Unfortunately, the Galio not going to take very much damage. He does have Mercury Treads built up already, so that's going to slow down the amount of suppression from that ultimate, as well as mitigate some of the damage because it does have magic resistance as well. In the middle lane, you will see Caitlyn on your minimap beginning to push up onto Zilean and Sivir. Right now, the score count being 6 kills to 1 kill. Gracchus picking up 4 of them himself, as he has already built up his Hextech revolver to give him some lifesteal, which is a great item to sustain him through the team fights that you'll see here at the mid to the later game. Now picking up a blasting wand. Not a blasting wand. He's building a needlessly large rod, which is going to be built into the Death Cap. Death Cap, a strong item on any kind of the casters, because not only does it give you a ton of AP, it also gives you that 30% increase of any AP that you have or gain throughout the game. So that extra 30% does a ton. One of the items that came on to replace the former Zhonya's ring. And now at the bottom lane, we do see Vladimir being forced down there. Galio going to be sustaining the top lane on his own. So we do have Vladimir Udyr at the bottom right now. That tower is down. Xin Zhao coming to defend it. Galio again just trying to push this up right now. Malzahar 4 levels ahead of him. Malzahar already level 12. The highest level in the game, as their Sivir only at level 10. And he's doing what needs to be done anytime that you're running a solo lane, which is warding. Red Rage able to pick up the kill on Xin Zhao at the bottom lane. And looks like some more action down there. Zilean running to help the Amumu out. And Sivir able to pick up a kill there on Nasus. So unfortunately, Mumu, Xin Zhao both dying there. Sivir was able to get that kill thanks to the help of Zilean coming in there as well. There were 3 bottom. Galio as well as Malzahar again still fighting out at the top here. Red Rage playing Vladimir, taking down the Zilean. I didn't really get to see what happened there. We're just looking at Gracchus doing a lot of harass up here at the top lane. And more as she is just pushing this around. This tower at a little over half health. Galio not going to have a problem defending. Galio jumping in with the taunt. The taunt not able to trigger the tower. What a waste of an ultimate there. They thought he was getting close enough there where the tower would be triggered, but it was not. So now Gracchus strategically placing himself in the bush here as he is waiting to see if this Galio is going to be aggressive and push out here to try to farm a little bit of these creeps. Galio running away into the Frog of War there, where he does make himself revealed in the river. He might have been trying to come around onto Malzahar or possibly while waiting for a teammate there. Malzahar just poking with this dot, as well as with the silence. A little bit of a gathering in middle as we do see Amumu, Zilean, and Sivir all there against Nasus and Caitlyn. And it's going to be a lot of back and forth in that lane. I don't think much will happen. The main initiators in this game obviously going to be the Udyr, Galio, and the Mumu. Amumu, the strongest part of the initiation, that's going to be on the blue team, usually followed up by Xin Zhao, whose ultimate can do 30% of the damage of the opposing team that's in range for his Crescent Sweep. So that's one of the big things that you'll see here as this game starts to progress later on, is the Amumu entrance with the ult followed up immediately by Xin Zhao's ult. And if all this can be done while inside Malzahar's puddle, it equals a pretty big team comp, or a pretty big AoE comp there. And we do see Udyr running into Zillion. Zillion juking back around the other side. Malzahar coming down to the river to help out with Udyr. And there we go. We have the pool going down. We have the ultimate, and we have some time bombs from Zillion, and that is going to be death for that Udyr. And you can see that dot is amazing. Like I said, that is the bread and butter, as the dot goes from the dead Udyr all the way to the Malzahar now. And Vladimir back in this lane. Vladimir only level 10. You probably remember him from earlier in this match as he was taking on Grackis here at the top lane. We see the Galio as well as the Vladimir trying to chase in right now. Zillion able to give him the speed boost there to get him out of that slow. Grackis still trying to play a little bit aggressive against the Vladimir. Again, folks, Grackis already the highest level in this game, being a level 14, which outdid the middle. His creep count has to be very, very good, because I've just seen him go through and dominate this top lane against Vladimir, using that dot to farm. His dot is the E skill, and what that does is that goes from minion to minion. As long as that minion dies, or champion, I should say, it will transfer to the next closest living thing, and when that happens, it actually revives a certain amount of his mana. So being able to sustain the lane like this is all part of this E skill, and he does have the Hex Tech Revolver built up, which is one of the life skill items for Spellvamp, I should say, and that's going to be the reason that you're able to see him stay in lane here without a major use of health pots. He does have the needlessly large rod as well, which puts his AP all the way up to 143 early game, a pretty devastating amount here, as we are only about 19 minutes in. You see him throwing the dot onto Galio up there. Galio not using his shield to mitigate any of the damage. But that pool is definitely one of the strongest parts of Malzahar's game, as it does scale with AP, and it gains percentage. Using the war disadvantage there, he is able to spot Vladimir as well as Udyr at the top lane here, and they are both in the river right now and beginning to become out of position, as Zillion running up there, dropping a time bomb off onto Udyr. And Vladimir going for that little bit of a poke with his Q spell onto Malzahar. Malzahar able to get a great pull off there and a great silence, and that's going to hold them both up. His ultimate is up. Wasn't the best time to do that, especially with Udyr around. Udyr can stun him right out of it. But now we're going to see the dot go down, and as soon as that pull comes back up, you're going to see him catch Udyr. Udyr ghosting as well as using the bear stance to escape from that team fight. And there you hear from Grackis telling his team, just go, we got this, go. These guys are going to push in here, and they are now going to take this team fight. While it's going to go on at the tower there, we see Xin Zhao coming in immediately using all of his skills here. The silence from Malzahar. Malzahar dropping that pull down, and that dot is going to roll through and do a lot of damage. Malzahar nearly dead right now as he is being chased by Nasus, backing out of that fight, using the dot there, managing to pick up a couple of those kills. I think only one of those kills he was able to pick up, but this should be the tower here, as Xin Zhao able to take it down. Grackis with no health, escaping back to the well. 2,832 gold left, and that's going to finish up his Rabadon's death cap, and there he is saying, wishing he would have gotten his Magi Soul Stealer, because he would be sitting at some pretty stacks right now. 15 to... I believe that says a 3 up top there. 15 to 3 sounds about right. These guys don't have a ton of kills.
Out of range to get help from that Nasus, which gave me just enough spell vamp to tank the creep damage that was being done to me. He wasn't really
so what he says there, I should turn him up a little bit for what he's mentioning there. He does have the Hex Tech Revolver, which gives him spell vamp. So he said he put those skills onto Nasus there and backed out of that fight, and that was able to basically lifesteal him enough health so he could take that creep wave. Sivir able to push that top lane and to grab a second tower here. This is not looking very good for the purple team right now. The blue team doing a great job, able to just destroy these guys in team fights already. Ahead by 13 kills right now. Gracchus, as we see on the screen here, going to be assisting Sivir to grab the red buff. Puts his dot on there, waiting for that dot to dwindle off, and Sivir's going to end up picking up the red. And they're going to migrate towards the middle lane here, where a lot of action is building up. Udyr beginning to commit himself to this team fight, unknowing of what's going to happen here, as we see Xin Zhao trying to come in here. Malzahar positioning himself behind the fight, waiting for one of the carries to be forced to back up, where he can grab it. And we do see him dropping that dot onto Vladimir, dropping down his ult onto Caitlyn, following that up with the silence, not able to get his Caitlyn, flashing away. Nasus going in, immediately going after Gracchus. Gracchus running from the other side, unaware that he had the ult from Zilean. And these guys just rickrolled them there. Even though he was ulted by Zilean, we are seeing Gracchus teleporting back out of here, while the rest of the team finishing up on the tower in the middle lane. And that Hextech revolver has been built into a Will of the Ancients, which is an item that's going to be giving AP to the rest of the team as well as to himself. I believe it gives 30 AP, possibly 40 AP. I haven't used the item in such a long time, but it is a great item. 23 minutes, 48 seconds into this game right now, and I'm not expecting it to go much more than a minute longer, as the score now being 20 kills to 3 kills. Gracchus is just dominating with his Malzahar play. Definitely setting the pace for this game, as he was shutting Vladimir out at the top lane. And we're now seeing Gracchus taking up the little bit of farm that's left on this bottom lane, and they're going to be pushing that all the way up to the tower, knowing that there's not going to be much they can do for this team fight. So they are at Dragon. Gracchus continuing to push the lane here. Caitlyn coming to clear off the rest of the lane, along with the assistance of Vladimir and Nasus at that bottom lane. Looked like they had expected to possibly run into some problems as they're bringing 3 of them down there. And here we go, Malzahar positioning himself in the bush here. Unfortunately, his minion not as smart as he was, as the minion staying outside of the bush there and exposing his position, so he wasn't able to play any kind of sneaky trick on those guys. Vladimir coming in. I know he sees that it's happening. Vladimir popping his ult off. Gracchus finding himself in a tough position as him versus Nasus, as well as versus Vladimir right now. Throwing out the silence. He has yet to use his ult. Still has Ignite available. And there we go. There we see the ult off right there. And that's not going to be enough. Oh, the dot will be enough to finish that up. And barely escaping again as the Zilean ult being thrown on top of him. Gracchus escaping with 48 health. They were so close to getting him, but as the rest of the team showed up, Nasus having to force himself back, assuming that Gracchus playing Malzahar was dead, and it was not the case. Gracchus was able to grab that kill onto Vladimir and take him down, and that's putting him 8 kills, 0 deaths, 4 assists, 23-3 right now, and they are at the time where they can surrender. The surrender vote failed, 3-2, so somebody not wanting this to end yet. Gracchus already up to level 17. Next closest on his team going to be the level 14 Sivir, level 14 Amumu, and level 14 Xin Zhao. So he has done a great job as dominating through the rest of through the beginning parts of this match, as we are now a little bit over, right around 26 minutes into the game. He is up to 345 AP right now, as he has built a Magi's along with his Rabadons. So now he's going to be going through here and continuing to build some stacks. Going straight AP here, very little defensive items on Malzahar. He is at 1838 for health right now. And he is meeting up with the rest of the team there, who is now taking the Baron buff. And there they are trying to catch Malzahar there, as we see Gracchus flashing in with the ult and the pull there, and it's going to be followed up by his dot. He is using his ult to try to get out of there, but no, that's not going to be enough, as Moon, playing Sivir, able to take that down. Galio trying to come up and recover and help, but that's not going to be happening, as he is all immediately taken to half health between Gracchus and Sivir. Sivir very farmed at this point, and she's just going to be able to demolish this team here. Gracchus a little bit overextended there and taking a little bit of tower damage, as he does have his pull down, and Wow. Now Galio has died. 3v3 situation here as they're waiting for Xinjiao and Amumu to both accumulate back to the spider. Udyr trying to go in. Udyr taking a lot of damage as he does get the dot put on him. There's the pool. The pool dropping down, nearly killing Vladimir. Vladimir had no health, and he does eat the dot there. And looks like Silver, with a little bit of the chaos action there, a lot of the damage being done again by Grackis. As they're saying, go mid and end it. And I believe this game is over. And there we go. We do have the surrender there. Grackis, being the champ that he is, what a baller, taking his team to the big W and getting the victory, which you see on your screen. And again, the person playing, if I didn't say his name enough throughout that screen, is Grackis from hardcoregamers.net. You see it up at the top of your screen, www.hcgamers.net. Make sure you guys go and check that out. This VOD will be up shortly if you're watching live. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and on the behalf of e-rev TV, I am Pat, the Twitch Harrison, and have a great day.